Winning Halloween? Who knew there was a competition? Of course there is, and there's always winners and losers, and I've got some of the winners, so stick around to the end where you're going to see those and more of me. Believe it or not, Scooby-Doo has been on the air non-stop for 56 years, ever since 1969, and in no less than 24 animated series or movies. So it always shocks me to know that fast food as we know it never really jumped on the Scooby success train with their kids' meals until 1996. But ever since, burger joints have made countless attempts to monetize Mystery Incorporated in their kids' meal promotions. Let's take a quick look at some of the best attempts they made on our way to, of course, the 2025 Burger King Halloween Kids Meal that I've got to show you. And then you can decide which one comes in second. I'm Victor, and straight out of the Gen Experience, the Gen X original meddling kids and their stupid dog, brought to life in fast food kids meals. Why a product so perfectly placed in our generation didn't deliver us a Scooby Kids meal is still a mystery. But there have been a few standouts of Gen X's favorite franchise turned fast food promotion over the years. If you want to see the best, let's go. Let me say again, nothing. There was nothing until 1996, 27 years after the initial release of Scooby-Doo Where Are You in 1969, Burger King releases the first kids meal incarnation of the gang with 5 toys included in your purchase. It still baffles the mind that there wasn't one Scooby Kids meal when I was a kid, and the Happy Meal was invented in like 1978. But when they did come out, they were pretty random, but still retained the spirit of the original series. All of these original toys had motion. The ever-popular Pull 'em Back and Watch 'em Go feature was used for the racing coffin, running scared Scooby and Shaggy, the Mystery Machine, and scurrying Scrappy-Doo, who can scurry right off the table and get chewed up by the dog. No one will miss him. The last is the posable Scooby-Doo. Why not? He's the star, and each of these are a great little fun distraction from the original show and characters. Good representation overall right out of the gate, and a prize for any kid, until you lose them, which was inevitable. After only one entry based on the original show, the next time we see Scooby promoted was for one of the direct-to-video movies, Zombie Island, and available at Wendy's. These movie titles really worked keeping the franchise alive, and with so many under their belt, Scooby-Doo transcended generations. Although undeniably a Gen X original, just to be clear. Pulling the burger so it scurries back to Scooby is pretty cute. The suit of armor hiding place for any of the characters is kind of fun, while the rolling tree trunk with the pop-up Scooby-Doo makes for an interactive toy. A little ball-bearing maze game rounds out the selection. Each has a unique feature that is very engaging to any kid, but none of them seem to be tied to the film about ghost pirates in the bayou in any way. But that doesn't make these 98 offerings necessarily bad. Back at Burger King, they tie in with another new Scooby movie, Alien Invaders. Funny, I remember this movie. I remember watching it and thought it was pretty groovy. Guess I started watching cartoons again by 2000. It was also the last cel-animated Scooby-Doo before digital ink and paint took over. As for these Burger King toys, they're kind of a mess. The plastic Shaggy action figure looks pretty good, almost store quality, while he is matched with a simple non-articulate soft goods Scooby with a flashlight. There's another suit of armor, but this one glows in the dark, as well as an alien ship spinny thing, I think, with some power beams shooting from it, similar to the Mystery Machine. And then there's whatever this is. I really don't even want to know. And can we talk proportions? Are any of these takes on our precious pup interesting to you? Would you have wanted them now or then? Are you a collector of Scooby-Doo kids meal toys? With the countless choices, it isn't a mystery why some people do.
Jinkies!
But where is McDonald's in all this? Could they not win a bid to carry Scooby-Doo? Didn't they realize what they were missing out on? Did their license with Disney keep them away? Whatever it was, the ball was lobbed back to Burger King by 2003. And they went live with this one. Live action movie, that is, and the sequel no less. There was no tie-in for the first live action Scooby-Doo movie, but its success meant that the sequel synergy was a sure thing. BK bet on 5 toys to entice their kid customers. They don't immediately look like much, but with closer inspection, Face Your Fears Scooby with its reflection gimmick and a spindle of spooks was inventive. Fright Ride Scooby was a typical launcher, and the Mystery Machine had a button to light the way. The Scooby magnifying glass might have been simplistic, but the terrified twirling Shaggy was good for a laugh. Although Scooby and the gang were born of the Gen experience, there was little to no Scooby-branded merchandise growing up. Do you remember any? The 21st century kept the franchise from faltering, and the fast food giants helped fill the Scooby toy void with their cheap plastic kids' meals. Even with questionable quality, there was some playing power out there for sure. Chill Out was another animated outing for Scooby and the gang in 2007, and another chance for Wendy's. Once again, nothing from McDonald's. The new film of the same name was popular enough to market as meal toys, and the United Kingdom got into the act too, although their selection is largely different. But that's because the US version was for Wendy's and the UK was McDonald's, and 4 years later. That's right, the UK McDonald's also promoted Chill Out, but with the familiar abominable snowman from the original series and not the new version from the film. And they still beat the US to the punch with any Scooby-Doo themed Happy Meals. The first Mickey D's toys for Scooby were still 5 years off in the United States. It wasn't uncommon for international markets to have varying toys, a different promotion, or even choose not to participate. But having the US McDonald's so far behind the 8 ball was kind of a shock. UK McDonald's would once again beat the US with Scooby-Doo and the Missing Mummy mystery toys that weren't featured in America, but should have been. We got these. McDonald's just couldn't let go of a good thing with those Halloween pails, but these toys would have been better. Nothing to see here, so moving along. By the way, in case you're keeping track, this is in no way a complete list. It would almost be impossible. Don't even try it in the comments. It's more of a spot check. I'm not reviewing every ding-dang Scooby toy from the fast food. That would be torture. But finally, though, in 2012, McDonald's in the USA welcomed Scooby-Doo into their Happy Meal ranks with what else? Pails. It had been 26 years since McDonald's first big success with Boo Buckets. Those initial trick-or-treat containers were a hit with McPumpkin, McBoo, and McGoblin in 1986. They would get more diverse as the years rolled by, with ghosts and witches too. If you're going to do more Halloween pails, then why not secure the license for Scooby-Doo, even if 43 years after he first premiered. McDonald's was catching up on lost time, so just reskinning Halloween buckets in various colors with the characters in their basic model sheet designs printed on them would have to do. I don't know about you, but I think the first McDonald's Scooby-Doo tie-in toys could have done a lot better than these pails. Let's take a moment to recognize that at some point in the 90s, restaurants completely went for selling the toy or promotional item on its own. No need for purchase of food. These things were becoming a hot commodity and collectors were taking notice. McD's noticed too and wanted in on the action. When they released the 101 Different Dalmatians for the release of the live-action movie in 1996, there was no way for kids to collect them all. No one, I don't care who you are, could eat that many Happy Meals before the promotion was over. The move to sell these toys separately was good business and made would-be collectors thrilled. The strategy made the demand higher and really increased McDonald's profitability. Even if the toys on the aftermarket are really hit or miss, I'm excited the practice continues. I couldn't have eaten all those BK Kids meals to get all of this year's incredible Scooby-Doo Halloween toys. That food goes through me like a Chinese bullet train, if you know what I mean. And yes, I stole that from Amy Poehler. Wendy's had a rather forgettable lump of Scooby toys in their kids meal of 2014. It was actually more of a toy game hybrid. There were clues and UV lights and mysteries to solve with cards and game pieces, etc. It kept you busy, but had little repeatability. Nothing like the Haunted Halloween set from McDonald's. This was an import and various countries participated. There were 8 awesome toys, but the US only imported 6 of them, as did some other countries. The Scurrying Eyeball, the Doorknob Scooby-Doo Guard, the Grasping Claw, and more fit the Halloween motif very well, but we kind of missed out on what some other countries added to their offerings. The total toy selection is some of the better products of these cheap promotional tie-ins, and one worth noting. It's also worth noting that Scooby-Doo isn't the only nor the best Halloween fast food kids meal toy. I don't want to piss anyone off, but those McNugget buddies in their Halloween costumes are still some of the best. This is strictly about Scoob, so we'll keep those chicken McNuggets out of it.
Jeepers.
This is my personal runner-up. If this was a serious store-bought toy when I was a kid, I would have dreamed and begged for the Burger King haunted house, or mansion to be more accurate. Complete with hidden doors, traps, and clever action features that are all up my alley. Are they up yours? This one is different from all the rest. It was large and like a modern Build-A-Figure. Each time you got a kid's meal, Burger King gave you a part of the mansion that you could put together. Collect them all and you have a whole house. If you don't, you've got a stalled construction project with no end date in sight.
How long will the job take?
2 weeks.
Honestly, the end result is one of the best. The only downside is there's no figures other than the static images. That doesn't stop the Haunted Mansion from being a terrific backdrop for toy displays and maybe even one of your Halloween decorations every year. Perhaps you can see out of the big three, Burger King knew how to leverage the Scooby Gang. The Scoob movie tie-in in 2021 was a sad follow-up to BK's Haunted Mansion years earlier. But Wendy's 2022 Pop-Up Mysteries had some serious fans. Even being made from some hardstock paper, these pop-up backgrounds really channeled the original series with sets and familiar monsters that harken back to the Gen X origins of Scooby-Doo. The paper figures might have been static, but they were well-crafted dioramas of the OG mysteries brought to life, vignettes frozen in time in glorious 2D. Wendy's was definitely runner-up to Burger King when it came to the kids' meal Scooby-Doo tie-ins, while McDonald's never seemed to try hard enough, at least in the US. Now, if you want to know where KFC and DQ stood in all this, stick around. But for now, let's go live with the reveal and review of the 2025 Scooby-Doo Halloween Kids Meal Toy winners, a haunted headless horseman.
Well, guys, I have been waiting to open these for some time. You can see this cute little kids club back. But yeah, this was a surprise. There was no marketing that I saw. I didn't see any commercials, of course. Somebody had to tell me about these Scooby-Doo Kids Meal toys from Burger King. Unless, of course, you're going to follow them on social media. But who follows Burger King on social media? Seriously, who? I got all 6 right here, and they're in their typical plastic bag that most kids' toys would come in. So I got all 6, but I only got them in 2 trips. So it was nice when I found out. I ran to Burger King, and I didn't want to eat the food. I didn't want to eat all the kids' meals, but I was able to find some really nice employees, especially that first night. So I'm going to open the first one I got here, Scooby-Doo, and let's go ahead and rip him open. Like I said, I've been holding on to these for some time. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here he is. This is Scooby-Doo. It's called Haunted Headless Horseman. Now, this is based on one of the original 1970s cartoons, which I think is wonderful. And the Headless Horseman, of course, is so... it just epitomizes Halloween. But back to the character. They are light. They're not heavy. They're not filled with a solid plastic. So some people would feel like, yeah, they feel cheap, but they don't. They actually feel pretty good. They are not articulated, so the head doesn't move. Don't try it. You will see he's got a trick-or-treat bag, so that works perfectly, and a bone on his trick-or-treat bag. Everybody's got a different image on their bag, which is really cute. So you can see that this Scooby-Doo, who looks very adorable, has a little circle in his mouth. He's not going, ooh, ooh. No, he's actually, this is where the rest of his costume goes on. So this is the piece right here. It's a plastic covering a mask for Scooby-Doo. He's going as a mummy this year. And you see the tab in the back goes right into the mouth. And there, Scooby-Doo is now a mummy. I think these are adorable because they can be part of your Halloween decorations. So, all right. So I had gotten on my first trip to Burger King, I had gotten Fred, Velma, Scooby, and the villain, of course, the Headless Horseman, but we'll get to him in a second. But I will tell you that when I went up, the employees were so wonderful. I said, can I just buy them? And they were like, sure. They weren't very much. It's like $2.50 for each one. And they were great. They dug through them and they found these 4. So we're going to go next to Fred, kind of leader of Mystery Incorporated here. Again, figure is the same height. They all pretty much have that same scale and proportion. I think you can probably look here and see that they're a caricature of themselves. I don't know if you want to call it a cutesy version. I don't know if you call it a deformed, because they have that name out there in Toydom. But he's kind of goofy looking too. If you look at that mouth, he's a little like doopy. But anyway, you notice he doesn't have the tab hole in his mouth, which is great. He's got it in his neck. You'll notice that all of them sort of have this tracheotomy thing going on, and that is where he puts on his mask, which is the Frankenstein monster. So I love that they're using these really classics. We had Mummy for Scooby-Doo, and now we have Frankenstein. And so this mask here, the tab is at the bottom, and it goes right by his ascot and goes on. Now, Frank there still looks a little doopy, but he also looks a little freaky. It is all one color, there's not a lot of detail to it, but what do you expect from a kid's meal toy? So here's Fred. His Halloween basket is a ghost. So his bucket has a ghost image, I should say. So there he is with his Frankenstein monster face on. It snaps into his neck there. So that's the next one. Then I had gotten Velma. And, let me see. Velma is a witch. The funny thing about Velma's mask is it's the only one that's kind of gives a sinister look. So Velma, you know, in her cute glasses wearing adorableness. You can even see her ears popping out, which is kind of fun. See that right there? She's holding onto her bag with a jack-o'-lantern. Matches her like orange color scheme and matches the Headless Horseman part of this whole shebang. So her mask right here is a witch. Now, if you notice how it's formed, see her furrowed eyebrows? Yeah, when it goes onto her huge eyes with the glasses, when it snaps on in her little tracheotomy hole, you can see that it almost gives a little bit of an angry look, little sinister witch vibe, which I really like, because if you know me, classic spooky. I like classic spooky Halloween. That's what it's all about. So here you can have Velma join Scooby and Fred. Now, we will get to the villain in a minute. I got him that same time, but we will go. The next day, I went to Burger King and a different one. And I said, hey, I'm looking for the last two. Do you have them? I just need two more. I need Shaggy and Daphne. And the woman looked at me like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But she said, here's the only two we have. Shaggy and Daphne. Yeah, it was that cool. It was really awesome of her. So I quickly paid them a quick $5 and I got myself Daphne right here. And what is that mask? It's a cat. Of course it's a cat. It's a little kitty cat. Matches her personality and her purple ensemble. She has a spider on her trick-or-treat bag, so cool, little spookiness there. And go ahead and snap in her mask as well. And you've got Daphne Blake as a kitty cat. You can see that pretty well. It's got a lot of great molding to it, maybe not a lot of color, but it feels really cool around them. So I like that. And then of course, Scooby's best friend. Can't have this whole gang without a little Shaggy. What I loved about all of these things is their masks are classic Halloween spooky. So here's Shaggy on his trick-or-treat bag. You can see a bat. Once again, you can see that they look really great in this character kind of model of all of them. They all are the same scale, and they all have a trick-or-treat bag. Non-articulate, but it doesn't matter. They stand really firm with their squared off feet. And right here is his skeleton mask. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna put that on there and show you if I can. The detail with the cracked skull, kind of just those little details in the mask mold. But isn't that great? It doesn't look like Shaggy at all, but what a wonderful mask. What a wonderful way to celebrate Halloween with some of our favorite spooky characters from Generation X wearing their classic trick-or-treating outfits. Now, for the last one, I said this was part of an old 1970s cartoon. When I say old, it may not be from the original series from 69 to like 72 or the new movies, but when Scooby-Doo came back in the later 70s, they did have the Headless Horseman episode, which was a classic Halloween party. Now, none of the characters came as these in that cartoon, but they still arrived in their costume, which was really neat to see. If you haven't seen my episode about Scooby-Doo and some of the best mysteries, go ahead and check it out. It's from a couple weeks ago. But here you go. He is the Headless Horseman. He has got a trick-or-treat bag with a crescent moon on it, which is all right. I think it'd be neat if it was a horse, but that works. It's more Halloween-y, I suppose. Interesting thing here is we all know the Headless Horseman. This is the temporary head while he looks for another. It doesn't come off, not articulated, and the mask itself took me a minute, and I realized that what it is just a hood. So it really is a hood that kind of goes with the cape all around. You can see that. So it's almost like he's wearing this hooded outfit, and then doom, he's the pumpkin-headed Headless Horseman. Looking for one of the heads, and maybe he'll find it in the Scooby Gang. It'd be funny if he had Scooby's head. So here they are with the Headless Horseman.
Oh, but wait, how could I forget to say this? These masks are interchangeable. Yeah, absolutely, all the characters can wear the other characters' masks. Now, although Scooby's is made a little bit different, and it may sit differently on some of the characters' heads, it still works. So they're really great, very diverse, and yeah, another great feature to remember about these toys.
So take a look at these all and tell me that you don't agree that these toys this year actually hit it out of the ballpark. They're simple and dynamic. They do have the spirit of Halloween, and they do celebrate Scooby-Doo. So I hope you like them, and I hope you'll pick them up.
Will you do what I'm doing and make them part of your annual Halloween decorations? But I think I will need to get the complete build-your-own haunted mansion as well. What do you think? It was easy to concentrate on the big three fast food franchises, but in 1998, the Colonel ordered up some Scooby and the gang in a rare promotion for KFC. These toys aren't too memorable, but the idea that Kentucky Fried Chicken in the US and abroad embraced our cowardly canine is still one for the books. But wait, there's more. Rarer still is a year later when Dairy Queen decided they could improve their profits with some Mystery Incorporated. Dairy Queen had only recently dropped their longtime mascot, Dennis the Menace, and grabbing Scooby for this promotion long before McDonald's shows they understood the pup's popularity, and they did it a couple of times. Too bad it couldn't elevate the Brazier's place in the fast food leaderboard. Well, I couldn't cover all the times our favorite fast food made some cheap Scooby-Doo distractions of our beloved Gen X gang of mystery solvers, but I hope you enjoyed seeing these figures up close. Did you have any? Did you click that like and subscribe? You know, it's cheaper than buying a kids' meal toy. Thanks for your support and for being here. And come back soon when I take you all trick-or-treating. Until next time.